Everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really want it to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing.
So Shannon Sharpe done messed around and got himself fired from the ESPN. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Down $23 million and unemployed is nasty work. Do we not understand, people, that lust has consequences? Unhealthy appetites, if you know, you know, have consequences. Diddy, R. Kelly, now Shannon Sharpe, and just recently Anthony Anderson. Watch, they about to cancel his butt too. Watch, something's brewing. I feel it. When are you all going to learn?
On his podcast last night, it said, now the settlement is over and he's fired and let go from ESPN, the only real regret he got is not that it happened. It happened. Is that the settlement and the firing happened around the same week or weekend that his brother's going to the NFL Hall of Fame. He said, can y'all wait to talk mess about me until Monday? He said, my brother is getting honored for one of the biggest honors you can get in life and being immortalized into the NFL or the National Football Hall of Fame.
All right, everyone, so Shannon Sharpe has finally spoken out about his termination from ESPN, and I must say, he has some things to say about how it all happened. If you have been following this story, you are aware that he has not been on ESPN since his alleged ex-girlfriend filed a lawsuit against him back in April. Now, we are talking about $50 million. All right. She accused him of a lot of things, so Shannon left First Take to deal with the legal drama. He claimed he would return by the start of NFL training camp, but training camp came and went, and he was nowhere to be found. Yesterday, it was announced that ESPN had officially severed its relationship with Shannon after he settled that lawsuit earlier this month. When it came to answering, Shannon wasted little time. He then revealed everything during his podcast night with Ocho Cinco. Shannon claimed to have learned of his termination earlier in the week, but this is what hurt him: the timing of everything. As you are all aware, this week marks his brother Sterling Sharpe's induction into the NFL Hall of Fame, and that is enormous. In fact, they are the first brothers to be inducted into the Hall of Fame together. Shannon also requested that ESPN hold off on announcing his termination until Monday, so that his mess will not overshadow his brother's moment. However, ESPN was still being clumsy with the news. Shannon was obviously offended by this.
Everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really want it to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And, I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me, and I was able to bring that to ESPN.
Let us be honest about what actually occurred here. We will likely never find out exactly what transpired between Shannon and his ex, or who the girl was because he resolved that claim. Although the terms of the settlement were not made public, there were reports that she received $29 million. ESPN, however, obviously did not want to be involved in that issue. They awaited the outcome of the litigation, and they answered, nope, we are fine, even after Shannon had resolved the matter. And to be honest, I understand. Okay, in terms of professional judgment, ESPN chose Stephen A. Smith as their star on the first try. Furthermore, they most likely did not want to handle any more controversy. Shannon did express his satisfaction with ESPN's choice, but it is clear that he has heard about the events that transpired. Due to personal problems, the man who was formerly one of the most well-known figures in sports media lost his job. Let us face it, Monique and Cat Williams attempted to caution him. Okay? Devastation is preceded with warning.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan
There
Majors.
you go. Think I'm old, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
And that is exactly what took place. In just 2 weekends, Shannon Sharpe was defeated. Okay. The good news for Shannon, however, is that his podcast is still going strong. He has a nightcap and Club Shay Shay. Thus, he continues to do quite well. Going from ESPN to only doing podcasts, he is not exactly broke or anything. Although it is undoubtedly a step down in terms of public recognition, it only serves to highlight how quickly relationships with the wrong people can alter your life. This man allowed his entire career to be ruined by a 19-year-old girl. Allegedly, this girl received $29 million. Again, we do not know the precise amount, but it was plenty for her to retire from solely fans. Please share your thoughts on the matter with me, but that is all I have to say. I will speak with you later.
On his podcast last night and said, now the settlement is over and he's fired and let go from ESPN, the only real regret he got is not that it happened. It happened. Is that the settlement and the firing happened around the same week or weekend that his brother's going to the NFL Hall of Fame. He said, can y'all wait to talk mess about me until Monday? He said, my brother is getting honored with one of the biggest honors you can get in life and going and being immortalized into the NFL or the National Football Hall of Fame. And y'all gonna talk about me and this little white girl over my brother going into the Hall. He said, please, talk all the mess you want. Just wait till Monday. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy because I don't know how people look at the situation as if Shannon was wrong or they just feel like, he's an old guy who's just freaky. But this settlement, ESPN is the only one who cares. ESPN let him go, but he still has Club Shay Shay. He still has the At Night with Ocho Cinco. The other day when the announcement came out that he settled in Atlanta, he just had a cognac tasting for his brand in Atlanta, and like so many people showed up. Like nobody cares about this settlement except for ESPN and the people who just want to talk mess online. But his brother, that's who he considers his hero. He wouldn't be here without him. These are the first brothers to go into the Hall of Fame. He just really apologized to his brother, saying that this may overshadow his accomplishment, and he apologized for that. But he said, everybody, you want to talk mess, talk all the mess you want. Just please, 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 please. Wait till Monday.
Shannon Sharpe trying to garner sympathy and blame ESPN for not keeping the news until Monday is really just telling me that he has a 19-year-old somewhere already in his lair. He's already working on his next girl, because why are you still out here? You know what it's actually given? The CEO of Astronomer. Like, instead of you talking about you cheating on your wife, you actually tried to shame Coldplay for having cameras and footage on the concert. That's exactly what Shannon is trying to do. Make no mistake about this, lady. This is truly abusive and manipulative behavior, because you sat here and said, oh, well, I didn't want to upstage and outshine my brother. Listen. If you already said that and had that conversation with him, why are you trying to come to the public with, oh, ESPN was supposed to wait until Monday? How about you was supposed to be messing with that girl to begin with? How about you caused that, not them? What's wrong? Like, they continue to miss the mark, which is why they will continue to act this way.
So Shannon Sharpe done messed around and got himself fired from the ESPN. Tisk. Down $23 million and unemployed is nasty work. Do we not understand, people, that lust has consequences? Unhealthy appetites, if you know, have consequences. Diddy, R. Kelly, now Shannon Sharpe, and just recently Anthony Anderson. Watch, they about to cancel his butt too. Watch, something's brewing. I feel it. When are you all going to learn? What did Martin Lawrence's mother say in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate? One night of passion can lead you to a lifetime of pain. Now that fool about to walk around with his tail tucked between his legs, literally. I mean, seriously, that girl ain't never gonna have to work again. She is retired at 19. And she quit her OnlyFans. See? Kim Kardashian wasn't even that good. She could take a few pointers from this broad. Po babies.
It's that time of the day that everybody loves. One person's going to be absolutely pissed. This is Leon's goofy-ass person today. Bruh! You about to sign a $100 million podcast deal. You working for ESPN only 2 times out of the day. You probably making your contract there. You was getting $6.5 million a year. But you had to throw it away over some Nana. And it wasn't even no glorious Nana. That little white girl, I seen Barbie doll sticker. Lord have mercy, Shannon Sharpe. What was you thinking, man? Boy, like you said, you had a better chance of walking through a pack of limes with pork chop drawers on than you would in beating that case, and you didn't. She hit you for $22 million, and you're not getting $100 million. Oh my God! You talk about fumbling the bag. Woo! Sit your goof ass down.